Hare Krishna everyone. So today we are going to talk about lowest degree planet in our birth chart. So firstly I would like to say that I like to do astrology in my own way, not following methods. This is my unique approach and I believe it brings something fresh. If you find this video interesting and relatable, don't forget to hit like, comment and subscribe. As for my last video, people were questioning. So guys, if you like it, watch it. So, a low degree planet is a very fresh planet, and I would say that a planet which creates a new karmic bond in our life. The more karmic bonds or connections we will create in this life, the more we will get stuck in this birth and death cycle. The low degree planet represents new karmas that we will create in this life. So, we all have to be very cautious about what we are doing as per our lowest degree planet, and also named as Darakarka. I feel marriage is the biggest karmic bond that a person create and then gets stuck in this life. That's why celibacy concept is there. If this cycle will not stop, then at every birth we will spend time at the new low degree planet of life. So by finding the low degree planet results, we can try to overcome this in this life and can stop the birth and death cycle and karma's cycle majorly. And if karmas end, then why we will take birth? And in this video I will tell you how you can check this karmic cycle. So without wasting time, let's start the video. So first, if your sun is at lowest degree or Darakarka. So here in this life, your new karma that you will create will be related to planet Sun. Sun is the planet which denotes soul, ego vitality and self-expression. It is possible that suddenly in life you will think of becoming something big and making aura that shows so much confidence or ego. You will think of becoming very authoritative. You will think of improving your respect and boosting your ego in this life by achieving confidence and finding purpose and life direction. It is possible that you can create a new karmic bond with your father or with someone who is very authoritative by nature, as it is also your Darakarka. So if we talk about partnership perspective, then you will create bond with people who are authoritative. Your bonds will be majorly authority based, confident, egoistic at times and focused on purpose of life. I have seen people with sun at low degree that they meet someone who is very authoritative and then they leave their trait in you. Your key focus of new karma that you will create will also involve your identity, how you act and behave, your pride and your power. How you can stop this new karma tree by only focusing on Krishna. Whenever you'll feel a need to boost your ego and courage, tell yourself that you are okay the way you are. Don't make unnecessary changes to boost confidence and ego. And also, do not make any changes to fit in the society. Don't forget that this is your initial stage and it is easy to cure bad habits at its initial stage. As you will also know that the story of Lord Indra, filled with ego, tried to punish the residents of Vrindavan for not worshipping him. Krishna lifted Govardhan hill to protect his devotees, teaching Indra a lesson in humility. Indra realized his mistake, surrendered to Krishna and understood that ego only leads to downfall. Think of this story and accept yourself by letting go of ego and overconfidence. So now, if your moon is the lowest degree planet or your Darakarka. So here in this life, your new karma that you will create will be related to the moon planet. The moon is the planet which denotes emotions, intuition and inner self. It is possible that suddenly in life you will think of becoming emotionally very deep, vulnerable and making an aura that shows so much sensitivity or emotional intensity. You will think of becoming very intuitive. You will think of improving your emotional stability and boosting your inner peace in this life by achieving calmness and finding emotional security and direction. It is possible that you can create new karmic bond with your mother or with someone who is very nurturing by nature. as it is also a Darakarka. So, if we talk about partnership perspective, then you will create bond with people who are emotionally sensitive. Your bond will be majorly emotion based, nurturing, intuitive at times, and focused on feelings. I have seen people with moon at low degree that they meet someone who is very emotional or emotionally influential, and then they leave their trait in you. Your key focus of new karma that you will create will also involve your emotions, how you act and behave, your instincts, and your mood. How you can stop this new karma tree is by only focusing on Krishna. Whenever you will feel a need to seek emotional comfort and attachment, tell yourself that you are okay alone also. Don't make unnecessary changes to seek emotional security and validation. And also, do not make any changes to fit into emotional expectations of others. Don't forget that this is your initial stage and it is easy to cure bad habits at its initial point. As you all know, the story of Gajendra, the elephant king, he was trapped by a crocodile in the water and struggled for a long time, thinking he could free himself. But he realized that his own strength and efforts were not enough. He surrendered completely to Lord Vishnu, who immediately came into his rescue. This story teaches us that no matter how powerful or emotionally strong you think you are, true liberation and peace comes only through surrender to Krishna. Think of this story and accept yourself by letting go of emotional attachment and emotional instability. Now, if your lowest degree planet is Mercury and it is also your Darakarka, so here in this life, your new karma that you will create will be related to Mercury planet. Mercury is the planet which denotes intelligence, communication, and thinking power. It is possible that suddenly in life you will think of becoming someone who has very sharp intelligence and the mind that works very quickly. You will think of making your speech more powerful, improving your writing, and using your intelligence to excel in commerce and trade. You will think of adapting quickly to situations and using logical reasoning to solve problems. It is possible that you can create a new karmic bond with your sibling or young people or someone who is connected to cunning nature and clever. And sometimes cunning nature in you also. Your key focus of new karma that you will create will also involve your mind, language, and learning how you think, how you speak, and how you use your knowledge and intelligence in life. So, how you can stop this new karma in this life? The only way to stop this karma cycle is by focusing on Krishna. Whenever you feel the need to prove your intelligence, use clever speech or overthinking any situation, tell yourself that it is temporary. Do not use your intelligence for manipulation or excessive argument. Do not change your way of speaking or thinking just to fit in society. Don't forget that this is your initial stage and it is easy to cure bad habits at the beginning. So, the story of Narad Muni and Maya is related to this. Once Narad Muni, the devotee of Krishna, asked Lord Vishnu, "What is Maya?" Illusion. Vishnu smiled and told Narad to bring some water from river. As Narad walked towards the river, he saw a beautiful village. There he met a lovely woman, got married, had children, and started living a happy life. Years passed, and one day a great flood came and washed away his family and home. Crying in pain, Narad ran back to Vishnu, and at that moment Vishnu smiled and asked, "Where is my water?" Naradji realized that in just a moment he had forgotten everything about his intelligence, learning, and spiritual goal, and had become lost in the illusion of the world. So, if your Mercury is at low degree, you will be someone who become too focused on intelligence, work, trade, speech, education, and forget the real purpose of life. Just like Naradji, you became and you get lost in overthinking, business, and clever speech sometimes, and forgetting spiritual wisdom. Mercury represents quick adaptability and logical reasoning, but its highest form is using intelligence for Krishna, not for illusion and distractions. You have the power to get stuck in illusions and making your own thoughts. So stop that and come into the reality and live life by real means. Use your intelligence for truth and devotion, not for just personal success. Do not let your speech, writing, or trade activities distract you from Krishna. Whenever you feel lost into too much learning, commerce, or thinking, remember Narad's story. Intelligence is valuable only when it is serving Krishna, not when it traps us in illusion. Do not change your mind or language just to impress others. The real power of Mercury is using your knowledge for devotion and wisdom, not just for mental sharpness or material gain. So, if your Venus is at the lowest degree or Darakarka, so here in this life, your new karma that you will create will be related to Venus. Venus is the planet that denotes love, beauty, harmony, relationships, material comforts, luxuries, and art. It represents partnership, femininity, and creativity. Possible that suddenly in this life you will think of becoming very feminine, attractive, wanting to create a personality that is admired by others and trying to look charming. You will think of improving your relationships and seeking pleasures in material comforts. You will also experience the need to express yourself through creativity, art, and beauty. It is possible that you can create a new karmic bond with a partner or with someone who looks very good and has the femininity nature and love and aesthetic charm. As Venus is also a Darakarka, so if we talk about partnership perspective, then you will create bond with people who are very beautiful, good looking, and charming, and deeply connected to relationships. Your bond will be majorly love based, money based, and focused on beauty attraction. At times, you will experience deep emotional love, but also attachment and desires for sensual pleasures. I have seen people with Venus at the low degree meet people, someone who is very attractive and good looking and has artistic nature, and then they leave their influence on you. Your key focus of new karma that you will create will involve your values, relationships, love, beauty, and connection with others. The only way to stop creating new karma through Venus is by focusing on Krishna. Whenever you feel a strong desire for love, attraction, or material comfort, remind yourself that true love and beauty exist only in Krishna. Do not become too attached to luxury, relationships, or sensual pleasures. Do not change yourself just to fit into the society's idea of beauty and love. Always remember that this is your initial stage and it is easy to cure bad habits at their early point. The story of Devyani and Kacha is related to this. Shukracharya, the guru of Asuras, had a daughter named Devyani. She fell in love with Kacha, the son of Brihaspati. Kacha was sent to learn the secret of reviving the dead, Mrita Sanjeevani, from Shukracharya. Devyani helped Kacha in his mission and she expected love in return. But Kacha, being devoted to higher knowledge, rejected her. Devyani became heartbroken and cursed Kacha, showing how attachment and expectations can lead into suffering and anger. Venus represents love, relationships, beauty, luxurious things, and without Krishna, these becomes the sources of attachments, pride, and suffering. Love should be based on bhakti, not attachment. Devyani loved Kacha with expectations, but true love is selfless and spiritual, like Krishna bhakti. If love is selfish, it leads to pain. Even the most beautiful relationships fail without Krishna. If love is based on ego or desire, it will bring karma and suffering. Venus gives beauty, luxurious things, love, but if these things are not surrendered to Krishna, then they will create illusion and attachments like Devyani's pain. So, if your Mars is at lowest degree or Darakarka, so here in this life, your new karma that you will create will be related to Mars. Mars is the planet that denotes strength, courage, action, discipline, willpower, aggression, and protection. It represents warrior, energy, leadership, competition, and conflicts. In this life, you will feel a strong desire to prove your strength, fight for what you believe in, and taking bold actions. You will have natural leadership qualities and you will feel restless if not engaged in challenging situations. It is possible that suddenly in this life you will think of becoming very strong and fearless, developing a personality that is bold and aggressive. You will think of improving your courage, taking charge in situations, and fighting for justice. You will want to feel the need to prove yourself through your actions, determinations, and power. It is possible that you can create a new karmic bond with a warrior or someone who is like a leader or someone who represents bravery and aggression. As Mars is also your Darakarka, so if we talk about partnership perspective, then you will create bond with people who are strong, bold, action oriented, and someone who is aggressive at times. Your bond will be majorly based on power, competition, and determination. At times, you will experience conflicts and arguments as Mars is a fiery energy and intense energy. I have seen with people with Mars at low degree meet someone who is very courageous and aggressive and then they leave their influence on you. Your key focus of new karma that will create will also involve your willpower, discipline, aggression, and the way you handle fights. How you can stop this new karma? The only way to stop creating this new karma through Mars is by focusing on Krishna. Whenever you feel anger, aggression, or the desire to dominate people, remind yourself that true strength comes from suffering and surrendering. Surrender to Krishna. Do not become too focused on power, competition, or proving yourself. Do not use your energy for unnecessary fights or conflicts. Always remember that this is your initial stage and it is easy to cure bad habits at their initial point. The story of Hiranyakashipu and Lord Narsimha is related to this. Mars represents strength, energy, aggression, dominance, but when used without devotion, it leads to pride and destruction. This can be seen in this story of Hiranyakashipu. Hiranyakashipu was a powerful demon king who had immense strength, courage, and willpower. He forced and performed great austerities and gained a boon that made him almost immortal. But instead of using his strength for devotion, he became arrogant and declared himself God. He used his Mars energy for control, aggression, and dominance. He tried to force everyone to worship him instead of Lord Vishnu. His son Prahlad was a great devotee of Krishna. Even though Hiranyakashipu threatened him, punished him, and tried to kill Prahlad, But Prahlad never gave up his faith in Krishna. Finally, Lord Narsimha appeared and destroyed Hiranyakashipu, proving that no amount of strength is greater than Lord Krishna. Courage without Krishna leads to destruction. Just like Hiranyakashipu, if we use our Mars energy for pride, control, and aggression, it will lead to downfall. But courage for Krishna's service brings protection and success. Attachment to power creates new karma. Hiranyakashipu wanted to rule the world and control everyone, but his desires led to suffering and rebirth. If we use our Mars energy for selfish goals, it will create more karma. Mars gives willpower, bravery, leadership, but if these are not surrendered to Krishna, they become a cause of conflict and destruction. A devotee uses strength to protect dharma and serve Krishna. Hiranyakashipu suffered because he wanted power for himself, not for Krishna. When strength is used for control, it leads to destruction. But when strength is used for Krishna, it brings true victory. If Mars energy is misused, it leads to aggression, dominance, and downfall. But if Mars is surrendered to Krishna, it brings protection, righteousness, and divine power. Use Mars, strength, courage, action for Krishna. You will never suffer like Hiranyakashipu. So, if your Jupiter is at lowest degree or Darakarka, so here in this life, your new karma that you will create will be related to Jupiter. Jupiter is the planet that denotes wisdom, knowledge, spirituality, and expansion. It represents teachings, guidance, morality, dharma, and fortune. In this life, you will feel a strong desire to seek higher wisdom, understand spiritual truths, and follow the righteousness. It is possible that suddenly in life you will think of becoming very knowledgeable, seeking wisdom like a teacher, expanding your understanding of life. You will think of becoming a guide, mentor, or a teacher for the others. You will also feel the need to gain respect through intelligence, dharma, and righteousness. It is possible that you can create a new karmic bond with a teacher or a wise person. As Jupiter is also a Darakarka, if we talk about the partnership perspective, then you will create bond with people who are wise, philosophical, knowledgeable, and spiritually inclined. Your bond will be based on wisdom, dharma, and morality. At times, you will experience differences in belief system or struggle in following the right path. I have seen people with Jupiter at a low degree meet someone who is very wise, disciplined, and spiritually elevated, and then they leave their influence on you. Your key focus of new karma that you will create will also involve your faith, wisdom, beliefs, and how you follow righteousness in life. How you can stop this new karma cycle? The only way to stop creating new karma through Jupiter is by focusing on Krishna. Whenever you feel pride in your knowledge, excessive faith in material wisdom, or a desire to teach for personal gain, remind yourself that true wisdom comes from surrendering to Krishna. Do not become too focused on gaining knowledge just for reputation or power. Do not follow blind beliefs or use knowledge for personal pride. Always remember that there is your initial stage and it is easy to cure bad habits at early point. So Jupiter represents wisdom, guidance, dharma, and expansion, but when used without devotion, it can lead to overconfidence and misplaced generosity. This can be seen in the story of Bali Maharaj and Lord Vamandev. Bali Maharaj was a powerful and righteous king who had immense faith, knowledge, and generosity. He was guided by his guru Shukracharya, who represented material wisdom. Bali Maharaj wanted to expand his kingdom and gain spiritual merit through charity, which represents Jupiter's quality of expansion and generosity. Lord Vishnu appeared as Vamandev, a dwarf Brahman, and asked for only 3 steps of land. Bali, being generous and full of Jupiter's righteousness, immediately agreed without fully understanding the divine test. Vamandev expanded to cover the entire universe in 2 steps and asked Bali where to place the 3rd step. Bali surrendered And Bali Maharaj humbly bowed down and offered his own head as the place of the Lord's third step. Lord Vaman Dev then placed his foot on Bali Maharaj's head, pushing him down to Sutala Lok, a lower planetary system. However, because of Bali's complete surrender, Lord Vishnu blessed him and personally became his guardian in Sutala Lok, granting him eternal protection and liberation. So, wisdom without devotion can mislead. Just like Bali Maharaj followed his guru's material advice, if we follow Jupiter's knowledge without Krishna Bhakti, we became lost in intellectual pride or material dharma. Generosity and righteousness should be for Krishna, not for ego. Bali was righteous and generous, but his ego made him believe that his charity made him great. Only when he surrendered completely to Krishna, he did attain liberation. Spiritual growth happens through surrender, not just learning. Jupiter gives wisdom, expansion, and teaching's ability. But if we do not surrender that wisdom to Krishna, it becomes a source of pride and karma. Bali Maharaj learned that true wisdom is not in how much knowledge we have, but in how much we surrender to Krishna. If Jupiter's energy is misguided, it leads to pride, blind faith, and excessive material wisdom. But if Jupiter is surrendered to Krishna, it brings true liberation and divine wisdom. Use Jupiter wisdom, knowledge, guidance, and expansion for Krishna, and you will never suffer the confusion of doing what and when. So, if your Saturn is at lowest degree or Darakarka, so here in this life, your new karma that you will create will be related to Saturn. Saturn is the planet that denotes discipline, patience, endurance, and responsibility. It is possible that suddenly in this life you will feel burdened by responsibilities and have to develop patience. You will think of becoming very structured and disciplined. You will think of improving your endurance and stability in this life by accepting hardships and learning detachments. It is possible that you can create new karmic bond with people who are strict, disciplined, or act as a teacher in your life. As it is also your Darakarka, so if we talk about partnership perspective, then you will create bonds with people who are responsible. Your bonds will be majorly duty based, who are elder than you and focused. Long term stability is also there. I have seen people with Saturn at the low degree that they meet someone who is very disciplined and they leave their trait in you. Your key focus of new karma that you will create will also involve endurance, patience, and the way you handle struggles and hardships. How you can stop this new karma by only focusing on Krishna. Whenever you will feel restricted or overburdened, tell yourself that Krishna is guiding you towards detachment. Don't resist hardships, but rather accept them with patience. And also, do not take burdens beyond your capacity just to prove yourself. Don't forget that this is your initial stage and it is easy to cure bad habits at its initial point. The story of King Nriga is related to this. King Nriga was a very charitable and righteousness king, known for his immense donation of cows to Brahmins. He gave away millions of cows, ensuring each was adorned with gold-plated horns, silver hooves, and silk cloth. However, one day by mistake, a cow that was already gifted to one Brahman wandered into his herd and was again given to another Brahman. When two Brahmans realized the mistake, they became angry. King Nriga tried to return the cow or offered them thousands of cows in compensation, but both were displeased. Due to this unintentional mistake, he was cursed in his afterlife. After his death, King Nriga was taken to Yamraj, the god of justice. Yamraj gave him a choice to suffer for his mistake first and then enjoy his pious deeds, or enjoy first and later suffer. King Nriga chosen to suffer first, and as a result he was turned into a giant lizard and remained trapped in a dark well for many ages. Many years later, Krishna and his cowherd friends were playing in the forest when they found the lizard stuck in the well. Seeing this suffering, Krishna out of his mercy touched the lizard and instantly King Nriga regained his divine form. He offered his respects to Krishna and narrated his story. Krishna, being the Supreme Lord, freed him from the results of his past and granting him liberation. This story teaches us the importance of karma, duty, and patience, qualities ruled by Saturn. Even a great righteous king had to suffer due to small mistake. However, Krishna's mercy is beyond karma, and only surrender to him can free one from suffering. Whenever you feel stuck in life, facing hardships or burdens, remember King Nriga's story. Instead of worrying about past actions, surrender to Krishna and accept difficulties with patience and humility. Saturn teaches detachment, endurance, and responsibility. Embracing these with devotion will ultimately lead to liberation. So that's all guys for today. Hare Krishna. If you guys need any personal readings, you guys can message me directly on Instagram or on WhatsApp. Don't forget to like, comment and subscribe. Hari Bol.